Yeah, a big part of working with you is working with your parents and working with the school and giving them recommendations and so forth. So a lot of the kids I work with or that are now teens and adults will kind of remember some of the experiences, but they didn't understand all the what was happening in the background. So
Right.
kind of fast forward, you found your voice, you found your friends. What do you remember what like helped you the most or things that really worked for you?
From what I remember, it was mainly just letting me move and gain that comfort at my own pace. I was able to speak to that one friend in the classroom. Slowly, I remember we decided to keep her in my classroom throughout second and third grade. And during those years, I was able to work on pairing me up with her and then moving me into smaller groups with some of her other friends in the classroom. And then by, I think, the end of third grade, I was verbal with everybody in my class. The only thing I struggled with at that point was speaking in front of the class. So I still wasn't able to give presentations or anything like that. But we worked on that throughout fourth and fifth grade. And then by the time I went to middle school, I would say I didn't meet the diagnostic criteria anymore.
Yeah, I remember I saw you for like a year or so, and then I think the rest was just your parents would call me kind of here and there, and you were doing so well. So that ended up, being amazing about how that worked and that buddy process, which you know a lot about, right?
Yes. Yes.
And we always say it's not just having buddies, it's what you do with the buddies, where you question them, how you question them, who do you include, how do you move a buddy in, how do you move a buddy out? And that's always based on kind of your presentation. So I do remember that, I do remember that being a big deal for you and wanting more friends. So I do remember kind of that being a big focus because I think you were able to talk to the teacher. It was more kind of getting you more comfortable with more of the kids, which was a challenge.
Yeah, and it was a lot of building that comfort with them for me. I know a lot of kids with SM end up moving schools or moving to a private school, but I think what ended up being very important for me was sticking with that same group of kids and getting to know that group better and moving through, in my case, elementary school with them.
Well, it's interesting you said that. I would say that not a lot of people move schools. It's really rare. Every now and then you have somebody move a school for either like they move or they do make a change, but I would say 95 to almost 99% don't because they don't have the ability to make a change with schools. So we do work within the school and, kind of work accommodations, interventions with the school, within the school as they move along through their schooling. So, one of the things that I would say is that you stuck with SM. What made you, so you have an interest in it, obviously, and we'll talk about what you're doing now. So share with us like your interest in SM and why you became so passionate about it.
Yeah, so I kind of throughout middle and high school didn't really think about it ever again because it wasn't an issue. I was never the first person to raise my hand in class, and I was still on the quieter side, but I was fine. I was thriving. And then I went to college, studied psychology, and for my senior capstone project, I decided to give it on selective mutism in the classroom. So as I was doing research for that project, I rediscovered the Smart Center and started using some of that research in my presentation. And that's actually how I found out about CommuniCamp because when I had SM, obviously CommuniCamp didn't exist yet. So that's actually how I found out about that opportunity. Applied to be a counselor and I loved it. And the rest is history.